Okay, hey everybody, we are live. How's everybody doing? So guys, you should see in the right corner of your screen a Q&A area. Let's start today with you guys helping us out here by typing your location in the top right corner in the Q&A area, please. Let's make sure we're being heard around the world. Okay, great. Lots of locations can hear us globally. Welcome, wherever you're tuning in from. Some familiar names here as well. So guys, we have a mix here of first timers, so guys who have never experienced anything that ITPM have done. And we have a mix of first timers and alumni. So guys who have done at least one program at ITPM. And we've got a whole bunch of guys that have already done mentoring programs as well. So we've got a bunch of guys who are defined as online alumni, having done one online program, who are members of our study hall Discord server, and guys who have done mentoring programs, who are members of our society Discord server. So we'll try to obviously tailor the content here today and the language of describing what Dieter has actually done. And by the way, guys, this is Dieter. Say hi, Dieter.
Hey, guys.
So Dieter is based in Belgium. He completed a Thailand mentoring program starting in October last year. And I mentored him from first week of November till mid or third week of February, correct? That was right? Yeah, yep. Third week of February, yeah.
Yeah.
And he's made 100% in that 6 months that we're going to look at today. Now, because there's different types of people who have experienced different levels of ITPM here. So people who have never experienced anything, people who have done online programs, people who have done full advanced mentoring programs. It's a little bit difficult to tailor the message. So we're going to try to make sure that everyone can understand, and you can obviously ask questions in the Q&A area on the right hand side, and whoever's not presenting at the time will answer questions manually in the corner. Okay guys, so let's get started. I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to need you to let me know if you can see that. Should be up on the screen right now. Let me know if you can see that, please.
It seems to be good, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good. Now, obviously, we've withheld Dieter's last name. We don't want crazy, thirsty retail traders globally contacting Dieter on social media, asking for shortcuts and hacks and cheat codes of how to trade. There's no easy way of doing this, guys. If you want to do it, you've got to do it like Dieter. Learn how to do it and put the work and the time in. If you want to jump to our fast track learning program, which is the Thailand mentoring program, our next one is going to be in April next year, 2024. We'll send you out all the details on email after the webinar, probably a few days after. But essentially, you get all the online programs, teaching by me and Edward Sheck in Thailand, and everything's included in the vacation in Thailand. But you've got to have a minimum $50,000 in your account. We can do up to $1 million, and even we can go even more if you like. If you've got more, we can do up to 2 million. That's okay. But if you're interested in that, you can send us a message through the website as well. And it's the same URL at the top of the screen here as you apply for remote mentoring programs. So if you can't physically make it to Thailand, you can do a remote program over Zoom. And that includes all of our online programs as well. But obviously it's lower priced. But essentially you've got to apply for these guys. So send us a message through the website. We'll send you links. If you're interested, just apply. So guys, let's ask this question here. what are we actually trying to achieve from a trader mentoring program? Obviously, Dieter went through the whole process at ITPM, and it's a really useful exercise to get somebody on who's been through the whole process to understand how it really works. But from a school perspective, from a teaching perspective, this is what we're trying to achieve, okay? Students come in and do online programs. So the main ones are the IPLT video series, the Introduction to Professional Level Trading, the PTM video series, Professional Trading Masterclass, and the Options Trading Masterclass, the POTM. Once people have done that, they can decide whether they want to implement themselves or they can implement fast track with a mentoring program. So mentoring program is either with myself on the Thailand program or with any of the other guys on the Thailand program or as a remote program. And what we're trying to do is take the knowledge that you've learned in theory from the video series and implement it successfully by making money, becoming profitable, and getting all of the key statistics. So it's basically an advanced level competency in a whole bunch of areas, okay? So first of all, knowing the macro environment to a high level. Second, consistency in both quality and quantity of trade ideas. Next, structuring trade ideas optimally with equity options. Building a long, short equity options portfolio, doing it properly to a professional level. All the methods that we use to put the odds in our favor and implementing good habits, okay? So having strong risk management and week-to-week decision-making and having winning trading habits, good execution, entries and exits, and also the ultimate, managing the business properly and achieving the high-level professional trader statistics, which are essentially these stats here, okay? So mentoring programs are 12 weeks. As teachers, we've got 12 weeks to get you up the curve as quickly as possible within that time limit so you can do everything by yourself after 12 weeks, okay? Then you go off on your own and achieve profitability on your own. That's the whole point of it, guys. There's no point in ever coming into the financial markets professing that you want to learn how to be a trader and then relying on other people for the rest of your life for trade ideas, copying trade ideas, going from one person to the next and just being chaotic, okay? You've got to take ownership of it. You've got to have all the skills to be able to do it and get these statistics. So this is what a mentoring program does. We're targeting 50 to 100% return per annum on retail trader account sizes, which is $25,000 up to $1 million, but possibly up to $2 million, okay? 50 to 100% return, but because we're trading options, you can actually get more than 100% return, okay? A win-loss rate, we're targeting minimum 60-40, but we're trying to target essentially 65-35. The dollars that you book on your winners divided by the dollars that you book on your losers, the minimum ratio 1.5. This is what's known as your R score. And then we have a Sharpe ratio, minimum of 3, possibly 4, or even more than that. We're trading options. It can be really, really high if we want it to be, okay? But essentially to get that 50 to 100% return, we're taking 20 to 25% risk per annum. And with options, we're leveraging that 3 to 4 times, okay? Generally speaking, the average days we're in a trade, 20 to 25 days with some acceptable variation around that, okay? But we don't stray too far from that. Now, what we're trying to do is the end result. This is your job as a trader, okay? There's nothing else to do as a trader than to manage this outcome, okay? Make the number at the bottom of the screen go higher all the time. That is your job. I didn't say lower, I said higher. Whenever you book something, it needs to go higher. Do we understand? I hope we do. We don't book losses, okay? Overall, we're making money. That's our job. We have here in purple, the equity curve, okay? This is here, you can see on the screen. And we have what we call our ideal line. And we have our equity curve going above and below our ideal line. And you'll see when Dieter goes through his stats, we manage this as a business, okay? This is the difference between professional traders and retail traders. We have a professional process. And on top of that, this is our job. We know this is our job. We get our statistics and we manage the stats, therefore managing the business. This is your job, okay? There's nothing else to discuss other than the outcome of that. That is your job. Make the number at the bottom of the screen go up, okay? Now, you've probably seen this in previous presentations that we've had out there publicly. The 4 steps of learning applied to trading. If you're coming in as a first timer, you're going to see today you'll be a little bit overwhelmed by the information. Why is that? Well, unfortunately, guys, and it's the truth, and you just got to handle the truth, okay? The vast majority of retail traders, and we're talking like 99% on the planet, okay? Whether you think you are or not, okay? I'm telling you, you are sitting at the bottom of the pyramid, okay? At a level that we call unconscious incompetence. You're not aware of the entire world that exists in trading outside of what you've experienced, okay? It's a world that you're operating in, and you can operate in it for a short space of time, or you can operate in it the whole of your life, okay? Unfortunately, we see a lot of people who operate at that level for years, decades, okay? And it's really unfortunate. But essentially, in that area, it's delusion. You've really not got a clue what you're doing, but you think you do. So it's a world of delusion, it's a world of denial, it's a world of lies and nonsense and BS, okay? Now, if you get your hands on the right information, which essentially is information like the pro trader level information in our online programs, okay? You can get to a level of incompetence that's not unconscious, but conscious. You're now aware of the difference, okay? You get that information, you're now aware of the difference, and you've got it, you own it, and you can go about applying it. The only way you become competent, so you jump into the higher part of the pyramid, competency. The only way you become competent is if you implement it and you start making money over time using the information, okay? The information is useless if you don't use it, right? You've got to make money from it, right? So you get to this level of conscious competence when you use the information and you, over a period of, say, 6 months, you start making money from it and you're doing well out of it, okay? You've just got to keep applying it in the real world and practicing, okay? Making money from it. Once you've been doing a certain amount of trades over a certain amount of time, and we're looking at about 150 plus trades over a 12-month period, what you've gained here is statistical significance, okay? It means it's not down to luck, it's not an accident, you're actually really, really good, okay? Now you've just got to keep doing it. You're at the level of what we call unconscious competence, as in you've got the right knowledge, you've applied it, you're doing it right, and you can make money without even thinking about it too much. So listen, guys, like, it's a long journey. You know, it's a journey of like 1 to 2 years to do this properly. And we're not here to dumb things down and pretend to you guys that it's easy and you're going to be really good at it really quickly. You're not, okay? It takes time. Now, Dieter's come in and he's got out the gate pretty quick, and you're going to see from going through Dieter's trades and all of his statistics and his experience, what's required when you come in, okay? So let's go over to Dieter. I think it's better just to see the action, and you should get an understanding of what's required here, guys.
Yeah, I'm gonna share my screen here and take over. So I hope you all can see that. So Anton asked me to talk a little bit about myself, to give you guys some background. So my name is Dieter. I'm from Belgium. I also studied finance and economics at university, did some Erasmus in France. And then, so basically my background, when I was pretty young, right after the financial crisis, I started being interested in stocks. So I started reading my first books about investing. Then I started value investing together with my father, trying to make some money in the recovering markets. And I was also writing some blogs about it. Then I started writing some articles about it for certain financial websites. And then later, when I was in university, I started my own value investing website. It was pretty successful, so it got taken over. And then I worked as a consultant basically for that same company. And in the meantime, I also did some lecturing. And now to this day, I'm still a financial analyst, a stock picker, and doing some consultancy work. And of course, now I'm also trading after my Thailand mentoring program with Anton in October. So basically, after the mentoring program, okay, in November the 2nd, 2022, I started with Anton, okay? So what did I do? I cleaned up my whole portfolio of previous stock positions and some options that I was doing already. I cleaned it all up to start clean. And so what you can see right here is my starting capital. So as you can see right here, I started with $122,868. And as you can see also, I already have here 2 positions. Why is that? The option positions, the 16,000. Well, during the mentoring, basically, me and my team, we generated some good ideas. And Anton approved that I could put on 2 trades. So I put on a Lululemon trade and a Splunk trade. So that's what you see right here. Okay. So here it's summarized again, the starting position, basically. And then the realized P&L was at 133,732 minus the commissions. The net P&L is around a 100% return in 6 months. And you guys will see that later when I show the stats. Okay, so now I will show you the real stats, how we track it. So I hope you guys can see this. Yeah. So first of all, let me show you the data dump. So basically, what we do every week is we pull out the data from the transactions from the broker, and we put it in the spreadsheet, in the data dump spreadsheet. And this way we track all our trades basically, and we keep them here. And as you can see at the bottom, let me scroll down here. As you can see, it's a lot of trades. You can see the total result and the trading cost. Okay. So that's the data dump. And this is basically the chart of our realized P&L. Every time we book a trade, okay, does a profit come on it, or do we lose money? So this is basically the chart. And this is of course, the orange line is the ideal curve that Anton just spoke about. Of course, it will never be perfect, but you try to go up as much as possible when you close, right? So now let's take a look at the most important tab of the spreadsheet, basically. This here keeps track of your performance at the top. I'll zoom in a bit more so you guys can see it good. So here you see as well the starting capital, okay? You can see the number of winners that we booked, the number of losers that we booked, and the total trades. So that generates basically our win percentage and our loss percentage. For me, it's around 65-35. And as you can see, I booked in total almost $360,000 profit, and I lost on losing trades $224,000. So that makes a total of $133,000 minus the trading cost, and that's eventually the net result. Okay. So total return around 100%. R score 1.6. So the R score is the total dollar win amount divided by the total loss amount. Okay, the R Kelly is not important. So the average day per trade was 123. So as you can see, these are really trades and not investments. Okay. So here at the top, we put in always the company name. Excuse me. Let me go to the left here. So first we have what type of trade is it? Is it a put or a call? We always work with options, so it's one of the two. We put in the ticker of the stock. We put in the company name of the stock. We put in if it's a long put or call or a short put or call. Okay, we put in if it's a stock or an option. In this case, it's always an option. Then we look at the option expiration. when was this option going to expire, what was the strike price, what was the transaction cost, how many shares or contracts did we trade. So you see 300, that means 3 contracts. The entry price of the option position and the exit price of the option position. And then, of course, the dates that we enter and exit. Okay. And then automatically, you can see here how many days I was in the trade, what the profit was or the loss. And here we have actually the cumulative tab. Okay, so this way you can see how it impacts actually the realized P&L, okay, the realized profit and loss statement. And then we have the win score to count up how many winners and losers we have. But that's basically the basics of this spreadsheet. Now I will go with you guys through my most important trades where I learned the most from, or yeah, that I find significant to talk about. Okay, so per month I will go through a few trades with you guys. If you don't understand this, that's fine, but you can teach this or learn this via ITPM, of course. So as you can see right here, actually in the first month after the mentoring, me and Anton were talking about a potential trade, and he recommended the TLT to me. So I opened here a long call position via calendar spread, and basically the result of this trade was really good. We booked $18,630 on this one. So that was a very good start, basically. Then a bit later in the month, there was weakness in Apple, so I opened a short position on this one. Okay, and as you can see here, let me zoom out a little bit so I have a better overview. We booked a nice profit here because I was managing the end of the expiry a little bit. So I wanted to book an extra profit to compensate for my losses on another trade. That other trade was Skin Beauty. So I lost 6,000 here. So I took a bit of my profits on Apple to compensate, basically, right? Okay. And then, so for the whole month, the first whole month, we basically booked a profit of 26,000. Okay, that was in December. That was the first month. Pretty good start. You have to know, while you're managing basically the portfolio, managing your book, it's actually, you don't expect to end that good, right? But if you just do the right things and you stay focused and you make the time to put in to do the work, then most at the end of the month you're basically surprised by the profit that you booked. Then, as you can see, I booked some more profits on Apple later on in the next month. Okay, expiry month, booked 8,000 on it. That was a good trade. And then basically the crypto Armageddon happened, and me and Anton were talking about ideas. I was thinking about shorting Coinbase, and he said Silvergate is probably a better bet because they are really giving a lot of loans to crypto companies. So then we decided to open a nice short on Silvergate. So bought puts, calendar spread. Okay, if I'm correct. Yeah, calendar spread type of situation. And we basically also, Silvergate then collapsed, and we booked a nice 10 grand almost. Okay. So that were the highlights of that month. So in total, we booked here in January another 18,000. Okay. So that was a good start also. Then we go to the new month. And here, basically, why did I highlight this trade of VFC while it's actually a losing trade? Well, it's because we decided to restructure it, and that way we were able to make some money back. Okay, so I was actually going to lose 6,000, but by restructuring and doing the risk management, basically, I could make 2,000 back. So we lost 4,000. Okay, that was pretty good. And then a good trade was MongoDB, a good tech position. Okay, made nice profit on this one, 9,000. Also after doing my homework, and this was a nice. So the company booked higher and higher revenues, and was, in my opinion, also gonna become profitable probably. And so the market then was gonna buy up the tech that it sold off a few months before. Okay. So that was a calendar spread with MongoDB for a total of 7,000. And then basically the expiry came close of the month of February. Yeah, so it was the 21 of February was the expiry. And so I decided to open a position in Motorola Solutions. Looked very good to me. The conference call CEO was very optimistic. So I opened up a position. And this one, after it releases its earnings, the stock popped. And then we booked here another 10 grand, basically. So see, I basically only had 2 or 3 good winners here in this month, and all the rest was basically write-offs or losses. But we ended up also booking 14,000. So that was a mediocre month, but still we cannot complain, right? Okay. Then we go to the next expiry month. So the month starts off very good with profits on Moderna short. Okay. The end of the vaccine era was a good trade. 7,000 in the bank. And as you can see, this month, I book a lot of profits on puts. So this was a very negative month for the stock market, lots of volatility, nothing good on the long side, basically. So the puts here, the balanced portfolio approach from ITPM really helps here. So I book also profits on Occidental Petroleum. And I basically restructured this trade to reopen it later. As you can see, I close it break even here, and then I reopen it later, and then we book like 5,000. So what I often do if I'm managing my book and I'm looking at an expiry month, I'm like, okay, which position has a high chance of maybe going bad for me? Then I might close it, but reopen it with a credit and maybe give me some more time. And then often it still goes right, and then you can still book a profit, right? Nucor, the steel industry, was also a good trade here, booked like 4,000 on this calendar spread. So yeah, that was basically it for this month, I think. Let me take a look here. Yeah, so for March, the expiry of March, 17th of March, we book in total $27,000. Okay. Then we go into April, and April starts pretty bad. The April expiry, because I basically restructured a trade. So I wasn't confident anymore in my Abercrombie and Fitch trade. And if I would have kept this on, this would have been actually a home run. So I even sometimes did things wrong, of course. Nobody's perfect. And this would have been actually a great trade where I book 15,000 profit maybe. And instead I book like a $2,500 loss. But of course, that's hindsight, right? And I also closed my Moderna because I wanted to restructure this one. So we start the month actually pretty bad here with 7,500 losses. But then luckily, I book a nice profit on my Perion calls. Perion was a company that could benefit from Bing, the search engine from Microsoft, because Perion is an advertiser on Bing. So with the AI boom and ChatGPT, this one could perform good. So this one was a 6,700 profit. And then this one is a very interesting one. We come to Lululemon. So what happened with Lulu was I was basically short on the company already for a few months, but the company kept performing pretty good, reporting good results. So I wanted to avoid another big loss for the portfolio with Lulu. So right before earnings, I basically open a vertical, right? A vertical call option. So if the stock would rise, I would at least book some money back from that vertical. So I book on the vertical 6,000 profits because the stock went up after earnings, and I also book my credit on my put structure. So in total, we book like 12,000 here, which really reduced my losses on the whole Lulu trade in general. Okay, then I book some nice credits here on Nucor, 3,800. And then I open Elf Beauty as a long position, as you can see, calls. But I actually wanted just a fat credit, okay, for the expiry. But it ended up being a good stock that rallies. Basically, it kept going up and up and up. So I just book an overall profit of 4,500. Not bad for a trade. Okay. All right. And now in the April, still in the April. Okay. So I reopened Motorola Solutions after my previous profit on it. And we book actually another 8,400 on it. Okay. Excuse me. Here with the credit, let me see this. We book a total of 6,000 on it again. Then I reopened Elf Beauty because I wanted some more credit booking. And it again went up. So we actually book in one day an extra 1,200 for the portfolio. And then Marathon Petroleum, I also opened to get some credits in the last week of the expiry. That's something what Anton teaches really good. And I book another 2,000 here in basically 3 days. Okay. And then for the whole month of April, so total was 47,000. So yeah, that were the stats. And as you can see right here on the spreadsheet, my active portfolio is here on the left, but we at ITPM, we don't show that, and I'm not allowed to show my open positions because we don't encourage copy trading. All right. So now I'm going to go back to the PowerPoint. Here we go. And I'm going to do a little summary. So in December, the expiry of December, booked TLT and Apple as winners. TLT was a long position, Apple was a short, and we managed to book good, raising some credits. In January, Silvergate collapses, and Apple was also a winner. That basically saved the whole month. Then in February, we have a good winner with MongoDB, Motorola Solutions, and we managed the losers properly with the restructuring of losers, basically like VFC. Then in March, it was a calm month, but very good for the short positions on the book. So Moderna, Oxy, and Nucor, they came in and saved the day. I reopened when necessary and raised opportunistic credits. And then in April, at the start of April, I was really not confident about the outcome of that month. So I actually started the month really bad with restructuring a winning trade and restructuring Moderna, which gave us some losses. But then while managing the month, everything became better after booking the profits on Perion. I hedged my Lulu the day before, which was also a good move. And I opened LF Beauty, a good long position, looking for credit, but got an instant winner instead. And in the last week of trading, I cleaned up my book a bit and I booked some extra credits. And so that was my best month so far in trading, even when I was actually unsure at the beginning of the month. So some best practices from what I've done and from what Anton has taught me. I did a lot of good reactive risk management. Okay. I raised a lot of credits when necessary via new positions, if necessary, or via restructuring older positions. And I always try to put the odds in my favor, right? It is a game of odds, and sometimes you're going to be right, sometimes you're going to be wrong, but you can try to sell a position, reopen it, and make it better for your own book, if necessary. I also made sure each expiry didn't have too many contracts expiring at once. Anton calls this staggering expiries. So building the book that not too many big positions expire in the same month, so your losses are not too big to overcome. Okay. And of course, as a trader, it's your job to find many different ideas with many different possible outcomes and to have low correlation amongst these ideas. And of course, it's important to have a long-short portfolio, because if you're only long, then like in the month that we saw here in March, I would have been burned a lot, right? But it were the shorts that saved me. All right. So yeah, that was my presentation, guys. Now I will give it back to Anton. So I'm gonna stop sharing.
Okay, thanks, Dieter. Right, so I'm going to have to reshare my screen. Okay, should be on the screen now. Hopefully you can see that. Just let me know.
Yep.
Can see it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So guys, like I alluded to at the beginning, because there's people on today at different levels, first timers, alumni who have done maybe one program, two programs online with ITPM, or guys who have done full mentoring programs as alumni who are very advanced. It's difficult to go through these things and tailor it exactly in the language that everyone understands, right? But overall, if you're coming into ITPM or you're going into like the professional level part of this world, okay, when you experience what a mentoring program looks like, it's very difficult for especially first timers, students, even alumni coming from the online programs. It's difficult to fully appreciate and understand why we do things the way we do things, okay? There's very, very good reasons behind all the things that Dieter showed you today in his spreadsheet, in the way that we do things and the reasons why we do it, okay? Once you see it for real and you experience it for real, it really does fall into place within 5 to 6 weeks, as long as you get your head down and do the work. If you don't do the work, it's never going to fall into place, okay? So what you've seen today from Dieter's experience, it's very advanced, right? It's stuff that you can't actually teach in a video series. So when you see all of these rows in his spreadsheet and you see the types of option structures that he's doing and experiencing, and the entries, the exits, all the decisions behind it, this is stuff that you can't teach in a video series. When you do online programs, it's like when you looked at the competency pyramid at the beginning, okay? When you do online programs, you become competent, okay? So you become consciously incompetent. But when you implement and you do it properly, you start to become conscious, okay? And you start to become competent as a conscious and understanding person of how it's done properly, okay? So that's only the beginning when you start to do it for real, with real money, okay? What you saw with Dieter, it's pretty advanced stuff. Now, does that mean it's not achievable? Of course it is. The guy's sitting on the screen right in front of you. He did it. He's done 6 months with ITPM, okay? He's done it all within 6 months of trading for real, okay? So you've seen that it can actually, it's achievable. You've seen you can actually achieve it. And you've seen as well on YouTube, probably other traders at ITPM who we've used as examples. And these are guys, who have agreed to do webinars to show you what they do. There's plenty of other guys at ITPM who have done exactly what Dieter and all the other guys have done that you've seen on YouTube, okay? It's just the tip of the iceberg. So it's completely achievable. But doing what we do on a mentoring program, it does need to be supervised, okay? If we put stuff that we taught Dieter over those 12 weeks into a video series, it would be impossible to oversee it, right? It would be like giving a loaded AR-15 to a person that's never fired a gun before. You absolutely need to be supervised in doing what Dieter did, because if you want to do this properly, you need the mentoring at the higher level, the advanced level, to do what you've seen Dieter do in his spreadsheet, okay? At some point, if you try this by yourself, you're just going to make a wrong decision. And if you make 2 or 3 wrong decisions in a row, you're just going to do something silly and you're going to blow up. You're going to do something wrong, okay? Now, managing your business properly, you saw on the last slide with Dieter, there's no rule book here, okay? It's not a rules-based system. So you've got to get this out of your mind that, in a certain situation, you do exactly this, you do exactly that, you do exactly this. It's not, there's parameters and variables that we have to understand in any situation, and everything is situational, okay? So we have to adapt all the time. It's not a rules-based system, it's a way of thinking. Managing the business properly is essentially the exercise of creating the outcome of getting the equity curve to go higher, okay? It's a game of best practices and probabilities, okay? And of course, it's not certain. We try to put the probabilities in our favor all the time by doing certain things, and we cover all our bases, okay? Dieter's basically experienced this now, managing his portfolio, managing the business properly, and he's already highly competent. You've seen he's done 149 trades, okay? Or 139. Was that right, Dieter? 139?
Yeah, 139, yeah.
139, okay? So, we say statistical significance is 150 trades over 12 months. Dieter's done 139 trades over 6. So if he does like 250 trades over 1 year, that's okay. It's a little bit over trading, but it's okay. He's basically there. He's done 150 trades almost. He's got the statistical significance. He just needs a bit more time. So if he has a bit more time under his belt, he gets 12 months, he's going to have serious statistical significance, okay? And he's going to be at that unconsciously competent level, okay? So he's just got to get his head down and do it. There's no shortcuts here, guys. You can't achieve those statistics and get consistent profitability over 12 months by just winging it. Like, you actually have to do the work, okay? So you do your online programs, you do a remote mentoring program or do a Thailand program, and then you're off by yourself. And you have to do at least 6 to 9 months by yourself, okay? To prove to yourself that you can do it, and your statistics speak for themselves. It's not down to luck, it's down to knowledge and skill, okay? So if you want to come on the Thailand program, guys, in April 2024, it's the same program that Dieter was on in October last year, but obviously in April 24. We've just finished the April 2023 one, which was a riot, really good people. We learned a lot in the classroom. It was really fun. And 2024 is going to be the same. So get yourself on the program if you're interested. Just send us a message through the link here, itpm.com/trader-mentoring. And if you want to do a remote mentoring program, if you can't physically make it to Thailand, then you can apply for a remote program. So guys, I'm going to minimize my screen now and we can enter Q&A. So if you have any questions for either myself as the mentor or Dieter as the student, you can ask questions. I know there's some questions here that I need to answer as well. People asking about the Discord. Yeah, the Discord is 2 areas, guys. It's the study hall and society. Society is included in a mentoring program, and study hall is included in online programs. So one study hall is online alumni, society is advanced level mentoring program alumni, okay?